Yeah, I got censored,
They
everyone.
can hear me,
I told
and
the
they can hear you
story
now.
about I told the story about how there was used to be a cosplayer at conventions who had dressed up. What's the guy's name? Who had dressed up like the guy from Full Metal Alchemist, turned
Show
his daughter
Tucker.
into like that show Tucker.
Yes.
So yeah, he would dress up like him and have a picture that like was like, "Have you seen my daughter?" And he would go up to people. By the way, he'd go up to strangers. That's how like I didn't know who the fuck this was. And I remember he came up to like me and my then girlfriend, like, "Oh, have you seen my daughter? Have you seen my daughter? I'm looking for my daughter." And it's a picture of the I'm like, "What is this?" And then all the people around us like, "Oh, that's messed up, dude. That's messed up." And one of them told us that like, "Oh yeah, that's from Full Metal Alchemist." But thanks to that, um and my favorite meme of it is like when the little girl and the dog are doing they're doing the fucking Dragon Ball fusion dance.
Okay,
That's
Manuel.
so
Oh yeah,
I'm
that
cutting you off. Let's start
that's
the
so bad.
podcast.
that.
That's so bad taste. Okay, guys, this is the
I
bad
mean, they
taste
don't
podcast.
show
I'm
it
just kidding.
after. They just
No,
it's just
Manuel, we're not
a
trash taste.
just a bad decal.
This is the ultra podcast bad taste podcast episode 160. I'm Manuel. Yeah, I'm Manuel, and joining me tonight is Photaku.
Hello there. I am
It's his,
here for
it's
your
your
viewing pleasure.
birthday.
Yes, it is.
It's your birthday. It's funny because Nyaru, I'll address this real fast. Nyaru was supposed to be on this one. If you watched last week, you might remember her saying as much. But she canceled today. But I wanted to talk New Year's resolutions this week, and we mentioned that last week as well. And I was like, I kind of wanted someone else on. I wanted someone else on last week, but it was the first one back. So I asked Josh last night without even realizing that today was his birthday. So yeah, I feel kind of bad. But then again, I guess you're fine. You're not like you're not partying it up, are you?
With family today.
Oh, okay.
A party up's probably not gonna happen for like maybe a couple weeks, just because
Hmm. COVID.
there's like a convention in town, so everybody's meeting up there. And I would be like, oh, this is perfect. Let's all meet up at this particular event. But unfortunately, this event is in Bakersfield. So there's just a high probability that really getting turned in this situation would unfortunately lead to COVID spreading. And most of the people that I hang out with are all cool. Most of them are vaccinated, but um, I just decided instead it's the event is going on. Why are you a boomer? Why are
I'm
you a
always
boomer?
a. Everyone
What's
calls
going
me a boomer.
on? Like, because I don't think I'm far off in age, so that's just gonna make me a boomer too. Especially
Yeah.
since that today
Oh
is a
wow.
perfect day to remind me that I will become more and more of a boomer, and there is no escaping it. So
Yeah. Basically the whole plot of tonight's episode is the ever encroaching um hand of death, the slow march of time. So yeah,
I thought we were gonna talk about New Year's resolutions, not give up.
I know that's my
That is
resolution.
Manuel's New Year resolution.
Just give up.
Yeah,
It's
I'm gonna be honest. I was starting to get very much give up f everything feelings from yesterday. Just because of not feeling sure about how things go. It's like I could be careful, but sometimes people are just careful. Like everybody is careful, but like a lot of people that I know have gotten COVID, both personally and then other friends who I also personally know in the anime space. I was about to say something like acquaintances and stuff and be like, but um, but no, like it's really crazy, and everybody's tried to be like careful as possible, like legitimately careful as possible, and nobody knows when it could have occurred or like what might have happened. And it becomes really easy to be kind of like, oh, we went to an event or um I don't know. We like maybe saw a friend that we hadn't seen in a while, and maybe they like had it, but they didn't know, or stuff like that. And so it just feels kind of rough because like there are people who actively don't give a shit, and
yeah.
I think that they're the ones who more likely spread it. And then when it gets to other people, it's like we only get infected because we didn't know that we were near somebody that we didn't know, and then well like that happened. So I was feeling very much like kind of like if maybe there should have been more effort or something else, and that makes me at times feel like that it's difficult. Of course, I will say that it doesn't make me feel like anything too dark necessarily in terms of like, don't forget to DoorDash delivery. Thank you very much, Diana. Um, but yeah, so either way, today was a better day. Not just because it's the birthday, it was just a better day. I emoted what I need to emote yesterday. And what's it called? Hey Guti! Hi Guti, I see that he's in there. And I didn't see earlier. Timer Chan, question of the day, what's your, and that's you. Okay, I feel bad. I'm sorry. But yeah, so that's why I'm all for the resolutions. And I definitely want to say after seeing Don't Look Up, fuck all the people who honestly don't care. Just fuck them all.
I didn't watch that. Everyone
In the inference
mentioning
of
Don't Look Up.
Reach not being affected, I'll shut up. I mean about cursing, but I saw it. It's great, but it's too real. After 2020 and 2021, watching that movie, it's like probably the best disaster movie I've ever seen. It's better than the Ben Affleck what's that one? The Meteor movie with Ben Affleck.
Armageddon.
Armageddon, yeah,
crackers.
like because we were like, the Deep Impact is just trash. Like it's just very, very just trash because it tries to be too serious. And so it's like, I saw Deep Impact as a kid, and I'm just like, hey, whatever. It's a disaster movie. It's trying to be on my pathos, no nonsense. And then I'm watching Armageddon, and it's camp AF, dude. It's the most camp AF movie, and I cried at that movie where like he gets thrown back in the what's it called, in the lift by his dad, and I'm just kind of like, this movie, like, there's so much of it that's unintentionally funny, and then like that happens. And so I thought it's Armageddon, but now I've seen this movie, and it's like the best, like hands down the best disaster movie ever. But it is very much like watching it right now and being like, if you're pretty much on the side of just like, let's stop the spread as much as possible, trust me, you are not going to have a fun time. This is going to be very stressful, even though it's supposed to be comedic.
Okay, I'm going to stop you for a second, Photaku, because I have a question for you. How do you call it so real when it asks us to believe the fantasy that Leo would date a woman his own age?
Oh my god.
What? Whoa. Wait up. Who? What? What's going on? Did I miss a comment?
No, Leonardo DiCaprio has a very infamous habit of dating women who are like no older than 25.
Yeah.
Oh, then that's a character flaw. I mean, so long as he's not going any younger, but I mean,
yeah,
it's
just a joke.
No,
I mean, get over somebody. MC is robotic.
My favorite thing. What?
Yeah, I saw it because I just wanted to check it out. I wanted to just watch the movie.
Oh, they're saying you're robotic, JD. I think your internet's just being wonky. What was I gonna say? Shit, what am I saying? There's a meme I like about disaster movies in the future, and it's all like, I haven't seen Don't Look Up, so maybe that's gonna go along these lines. That is along these lines, but it's like, I'll never believe disaster movies anymore because they're always like, a lot of the plot line is like, and then humanity unites. It's like, that's never gonna happen. That's never gonna happen.
It's I might watch it with a group tonight because there's a group that I do stuff with on a Discord server, so we might watch it there. I just like kind of felt like giving a shot at like a different day where I was feeling a little down. And so it definitely didn't help watching it, but like I felt that also watching it, there was like a lot of inner voices that were coming out when I was watching this movie.
Hey, what the hell? I just unpaused the stream so I could actually look at the video. I mean, I was gonna hear the audio, and I noticed that it just says boomer. I didn't know that's what you meant.
You can't hear. That's why. What the fuck? Is it just Manuel? Audio
I've been doing this since like maybe a month after I started helping out with the stream.
Oh, you've been putting boomer on my face like that? I didn't even notice.
Every so often we have a boomer moment. So, like 5 times a show.
Well, before we move on to the actual New Year's resolutions,
the audio got worse.
Yeah, let us know how the audio goes a bit more. Hopefully, it gets better. Let us know who it is. I think you said MC, so I think she means you, JD. But and I have noticed when I was editing last week's podcast, it wasn't the whole time, but then because I had to edit past the part that you couldn't hear us, And I noticed that when we heard you were robotics. I cut your part out too, but but you were fine the rest of it. I just left it. But what was I
Okay, I
gonna
need
say?
to
Let us
fix
know.
myself. I'm like,
That's weird. Okay.
But before we move into New Year's resolution, I want to mention this one little anecdote real fast. When I was in high school, my science teacher, oh no, I'm sorry, it wasn't high school. It was junior high for sure. It was like my sixth grade science teacher, and no, that can't be right either. Maybe it was high school. Doesn't matter. A science teacher I had. Um, it was high school. I remember this now. We got in trouble. Well, she got in trouble. We didn't get in trouble because like she was a new teacher, and people were complaining about the way she taught to begin with. And then they had people like come to observe the teacher, like which happens. I've had other times where they do this in my life because I go to shitty schools. But the day the observer decided to show up was a day when the science teacher decided to show us either Deep Impact or Armageddon. I can't remember which one. I mean, I do know the difference now, but I don't think I did then. I think it was Deep Impact though. But anyways, and the whole idea, and she was showing it to us as if this was to like, teach us something scientific. And I know there's the meme where like supposedly NASA shows Armageddon to like people or something. I think that one had NASA involved. Maybe that's what she showed us. But like, yeah, and she got in so much trouble because of that it went throughout the entire school, and no one for that entire school year to ignore their teacher could show their students movies for any
snitch.
reason.
What the fuck? We snitched.
Yep, I remember that specifically because there was in my math class we had an off day. Like I think it was the last day of school, last day of the semester. I mean to say it wasn't the last day of school because I saw him again, but he couldn't show us the movie because like she ruined it for everyone. So he's like, well, it's an off day, I can't show you a movie, so just don't be too loud. And that was just it.
Oh man.
But yeah,
Sorry,
I
what were you
also
saying?
huh?
That it was Armageddon shown at NASA?
Yeah, well they say it is, but it isn't. It's one of those urban legends or whatever.
I thought they did, and you had to pick out every like error, and they found like
Also,
200 or something.
I think NASA has come out at some point and said that that's not true. But yeah, supposedly that was the meme that they would show it. But I do think it had NASA's involvement in making it because I think NASA's mentioned, and I think you have to like have some sort of like thing to like not just call it like U.S. space program, some shit like that. So yeah. Anyway, my New Year's resolution is to show everyone illegal movies on Twitch, and I'll just sit in the corner and be like, like Pokimane or whoever the heck that was who got banned recently for showing like anime or some shit. So yeah.
You're gonna prove that
Manuel,
nobody
how
gives
long
a
it takes
shit
to be
unless
right
you're
back
too
for a
big,
moment?
and then when you're big, they give a shit.
Sorry about that.
Okay, we're back.
Yeah.
Hopefully that worked out better. Are you recording?
Yes, I'm recording.
Okay, that's a funny time for me to notice. There actually was a DTL a while back, if you remember. When I remembered at like the 3 hour mark, I'm like, Callie, are you recording? She's like, oh shit, and then she hit record then. Oh, that was funny. But anyway, yeah, I'm gonna ruin movies for everyone.
Are all of
Yeah,
us that
ruin
bad?
movies. Ruin all the movies.
I used to have a reputation amongst my friends. I was that friend who would go watch a new movie and then like spoil it for everyone. Usually not intentionally. It's not like I was doing it to be. I would just talk about it too much and be like, "Oh, have you seen the new Spider-Man movie? Because all the Spider-Mans come out in it."
Yeah.
Oh, the release images. It's okay to say that now.
Yeah, I think by now it's fine. But yeah, that shit like that. Like I forgot, and they used to get mad at me for stupid shit. Like some of my friends would get mad at me over like older movies. It's like I haven't seen it. I'm like, you had years. Does it matter anymore? It's like me spoiling. I can't think of anything else to spoil. Everyone dies at the end of fucking. Oh,
Endgame.
like when
In
when I
Civil
spoiled
War.
when I spoiled Squid Game, and I'm like, guys, everyone but one person dies, and it's like, how does one spoil Squid Game? Like you know that everyone's gonna die except for one person, and you know who the one person is.
Dude, I didn't. I really was like sad when it came to like the last three, and it was like the night before. I was so like livid. It was like, oh, she's done by default, and I thought like that would have been it, you know? Like it was pretty done. It was pretty done. But then it goes back to the frame. You know, it would have been bad enough if we're just like, oh, they were monitoring, she's gone, you know, because they had everyone's vitals. It would have been like, oh, she's gone, man. But instead, no, we don't see that she's just gone. The friend is like over like her body, and we're just like, dude, fuck you, man.
It,
Like,
it, it's funny because I brought up Squid Game real fast because we did an episode last week where we talked about our favorite media from 2021, sorry,
yeah,
and we didn't mention Squid Game or Arcane, which is hilarious.
Arcane. I mentioned Arcane.
Oh, did you?
Yes.
Oh, well, I had actually see. This is why I should take better notes. I had actually said that I was gonna like in my head. I'd written it down that I was gonna mention those as my two favorite. I was gonna mention Arcane as my favorite anime, even though technically it is an anime. I was gonna be that person, just like oh, it's animation. But and then I was gonna mention Squid Game as my favorite TV show because that's one of the few ones I watched. But oops. Anyway, I will say beyond that, fuck that scene in Squid Game pissed me off because when the dude got up and left the girl there, I'm like, are you fucking stupid? He's gonna kill her. Why did you get up?
why did you get up? Well, like,
Or
he
drag
was
her
getting
with
up
you or something.
to get help or something, but like at the same time, like because he was so concerned about her, and like the concern was like, don't go. She was like telling him, don't go for your friend, because we all just thought like, nah, he's faking it. Like he's not really asleep. He's just goading the other person, and it looked like there was like distance. It looked like there was distance. You know,
It, I will say that like I saw the last episode again because a friend of mine was watching it recently, and the whole last thing where he gets the new hairstyle, it's laughable to me. It was laughable to me then, and I was
Mhm.
like, maybe it's changed. No, like, why does he have like dyed red hair and like a K-pop like haircut?
Yeah,
And
no, it looks really unfitting.
no, it just looks it's so random, and I'm like, what? Why did he do that? Like, I get that you're like cleaning yourself up or whatever, but did you have to get the new hairstyle? Like, huh? And you had to dye your hair, especially. Anyway,
Mhm.
anyway, New Year's resolution. My New Year's resolution is to watch better shows. No, but real talk. Do you have any New Year? Oh, sorry. I keep remember I can't lean that far back from the mic. Do you have any New Year's resolutions, Josh?
My New Year's resolutions are it's looking weird, but I'm like taking a picture of the package that came, so you know, just making sure like just gonna take a picture in a way so that way it doesn't look off or anything like that. Or yeah, I'll have it off the side. There we go. Let me go like this. I just need to get something verified. Okay. I just realized I was gonna take a picture in a weird way earlier, so I'm like, nah, I'm not gonna do that. Um, Let me send this one thing. My New Year's resolution is to save money. I like the new job that I'm at. I
Oh,
actually just passed my radiation what's it called? Safety officer training. So like I really dig that. I'm like, "Yay. I am certified to make sure that a box is secure at our facility. This box contains nuclear stuff in it,
Oh my
Or
god.
not nuclear. It's radioactive. It's radioactive stuff, actually, not nuclear. So it's radioactive. It's radioactive, and let me get that out there. And I'm just trained to be sure that so long as I'm at the facility, that this thing is over in the back, that it's not X amount of space close to us, that we, tread carefully when we're in the lab just because it's back there. And yeah, I'm glad. I'm glad.
Oh my god, you're over here like nuclear physicist, like working at the Springfield power plant or some shit. Like I don't know. I just imagine like the some scene out of like Back to the Future where like are the Libyans gonna come out? Wait, do you have the box there? I had to, like I was confused for a minute. I thought the box was like in your house, and I'm
Mhm.
like, wait, are you selling plutonium to the Libyans or whatever? I'm sure
No,
that's very
no,
un-PC to say today because I'm sure the political
no. If
climate
I
has
had a
changed.
time machine, trust me, I would not be on stream right now. I would be out preventing things. I'd be out preventing a lot of things. And then I would come to a future where I'm jaded because even though I changed things,
Other things happen. Yeah.
humanity still probably sucks. So certain things will play out differently in history. So then I would want to go back and change those things. And then, I get home and I have to realize that there was some impact of, my absence in some way in these scenarios. And so then, it's a thing where later everybody's going to be like, I don't understand. If you went back in time at this point, why should that change if this event occurred? Or why would it say that this is a thing, And then I'll have to be like, shit, I should have been like the Avengers and just pointed out earlier that, that's not how time travel works. You just, you can do whatever the fuck you want because your time does not change.
I
Technically.
didn't I didn't realize we're going down the time travel plot plot line here.
um
Anyway,
so
but let's talk.
what's it called?
I
So
need to
yeah.
save money. That would be a good New Year's resolution.
No, I wanna definitely travel. So like I'm hoping this year that like Japan opens up. Like technically you can still travel to Japan. It's just not on the, like it's the no fly recommended thing. So like you can go, but it's like, one, you have to first, go to a hotel where they like quarantine
Yeah, you
your
have
ass.
like a week.
Yeah. Well, it's actually like if no one in the plane, like they test everybody, if no one in the plane came back positive, then like within about 5 to 6 days, you'll be back in, you can go out into Japan. If at least one person came back positive, then they hold everybody down, I think, for about roughly 2 weeks. And then after that, then you can go and, explore and shit and get judged because, you're like a foreigner and you're like, um, visiting. And then Japan has its own different lockdowns in place because Japan just, I don't know why Japan keeps having lockdowns. Um, and then like, there you go. Like it's a very not the normal experience, so it's still something that could be done, but that's still wasting potentially up to 2 weeks. So then you'd have 2 weeks and then you have your vacation time, and that sucks. So hopefully things can get to like a cool place of normal, or just straight up ban anybody who's not vaccinated from flying. Like just straight up, come on, please, just ban them all. We already banned them from restaurants because we don't want them disgusting, like, more likely people to have COVID. Like, don't get me wrong. I can understand that somebody who is vaccinated could also have COVID, potentially be asymptomatic. But I'm pretty sure that if we just keep all of the people who don't get vaccinated from flying, I think just in general, that will make the flight experience just way better. I
I
don't
was
know.
no
But
the funny thing was is I was gonna say I think it would make the flight better in other ways, unexpected ways, because sure you're getting rid of the unvaccinated, but
Mhm.
those people are probably also the type of people who are more prone, not all of them, but I'm sure that most of them are the people who are more prone to like make a scene for
Yeah.
random shit. And you don't deal with that as much. Don't get me wrong, vaccinated people I'm sure are still like there's a ton of vaccinated Karens, I'm sure. But it
Mhm.
just it just it just strikes me that you eliminate that element as well. And it'll force people to get vaccinated, which at the end of the day is a good thing. Just fucking do it.
Yeah.
Well, it doesn't force them. It gives them the illusion of choice, but it's like either you live like and don't get to do anything fun, or just get the fucking vaccine.
Yeah, like I just don't understand. There's so many people that have already taken it that it's like, guys, we're beyond the point of like, test subjects or
Yeah, I
whatever.
was supposed to say if
It's like
if we're like being mind controlled, and if by the way, when I say if, I don't mean that like I believe it at all. I'm just joking. I'm just throwing it out there. If we're like microchipped and mind controlled, most of us already are. So you might as well join us.
Yeah, actually, quick thing, just so I can end this before I like tangent. If we don't get to travel, I'm hoping with the money saved up that I could potentially put a down payment for a house or work towards that by the end of the year because the job I have is actually really cool. So I don't really see myself going to a lot of cons. I'm not going to be going to Fanime.
Oh my god.
I might go to AX though. The only reason I would go to Fanime is if for whatever reason I saved enough money to be like, yes, I would justify a trip, but just straight up, I didn't get my thing, so that automatically means that one, I don't even know anybody in an immediate group that I would go with or that I already don't know is already going to have plenty of people with them. So I don't, I'm not going to get that registration for the hotels. I haven't gotten, a badge. If it's working off of the, if you got a badge, it's the people who bought it earliest that get to do
Yeah.
the room thing. So it's very much likely that I'm not going to go. It would only go if I made enough money to justify being like, oh yeah, I'm going to like go and do a thing over there. But yeah, otherwise it would be saving up for, ah, sorry, I was about to sneeze. Or maybe I'm about to sneeze. Oh, fuck. And so, what's it called? Save up for like a house or something like that. If plans for
Oh,
traveling do not happen, I think that's probably a better way to go. But just because when you mentioned that thing about the whole brain control, there was this show called like Room 404 or something like that. And it's on Hulu. I think it's only got like 6 episodes
yeah.
because it didn't do well. Um, and like the episodes are kind of hit or miss. Some of them are cool, other ones aren't as cool. They're just fascinating concepts, but I think they were trying to be like the next Twilight Zone.
It's
And it
the
just
black. Everyone's giving it the Black Mirror ripoff thing, but yeah, I remember. I know what you're talking about. Keep going.
okay, well I guess that also kind of makes sense. Okay, they're let's just say they're all Twilight Zone knockoffs, but it was probably a knockoff then to mirror what's it called? Black Mirror.
Mhm.
Um so man, we can't even compare it. Like the budget is just not the same. The budget is fucking crazy in like the early seasons of what's it called, Black Mirror versus like this show in general.
Oh, that is
Like
true.
straight up but like there was a story where there was this guy who was a hipster and he's hanging out with his niece and they're gonna go see a 3D movie and it turns out the 3D movie is like microwaving everyone's brains or like hypnotizing them or something. And at first, I was like, okay, like, especially based on the ending, it's like it was bleak and like, okay, this is kind of rough. But then I was like, is this a situation where it's just simply saying that when we go forward in terms of technology, we can't go back? We're just all, accustomed to it. Is the situation of peer pressure really just one that's brought about from like being stupid? If you are clinging to the past, is that a character flaw? But like, it was one that it had me thinking more about it after it was done. But like, that was probably the only one out of all the other ones. It's just really weird and vague how the other ones go about it. Their time travel episode, I think it was trying to be really smart, but I had to watch it again and just be kind of like, the loop is not that well self-contained. The video game one was just for the fad. The love story one is stupid. It's just
Well,
stupid. Like,
everyone needs to watch. Well, first of all, I wanted to mention that like, um, I do think that technology is like, well, clearly it's a one-way street. We don't really go backwards, and when
yeah.
people do, it's usually a negative thing. Like people still like holding on to like unclean forms of energy when they don't need
Yeah.
to. Like obviously there's some special cases in some developing countries still, but I think we've moved past the days where everything's coal driven. Even though we still hear like, whenever there's like some right wing politician out in the east is
Yeah.
always all like, we're bringing back coal. I'm like, what the fuck? What is this, 19 when like when that was a a really viable,
Can
like,
you imagine?
but anyway, um
um, yeah.
I was gonna mention, kind of going off your, similar to the New Year's resolutions. Like, first of all, money saving and manual just don't really mix. So I would like to, but I'm not even gonna fool myself that that's gonna happen. Honestly, I don't think it'll happen this year. But I will say this: I've been kind of low key about this. But if everything goes right by the end of this year, I will be debt free for like the first time in my adult life. So That'll be fun.
Dude,
There's always
you gotta learn that just because you were in debt and that now you're out of debt, that it's good to be debt free, but just remember, debt is your friend in the United States.
that's what I
Like,
was gonna say. Like, but the big reason, and I know this is a stupid thing to say, but one
yeah,
of the big reasons I'm so excited to get it cleared and to get this old debt done with, so I
yeah,
can go and start new debt.
yeah. Was it like school debt, or was this just like, oh, I went on a shopping spree debt, or was this like a car
it,
debt?
it was literally a combination of every single form of debt one can get.
Oh
Like that,
fuck.
yeah. There was school debt. There was inherited school debt. Don't ever co-sign, by the way.
Oh fuck.
Yeah, there was just Manuel decides to overspend, and then there
I'm
was
really,
the
I'm really just gonna say that, like, although you're saying it's a combination, I'm just gonna straight up say it. The worst is simply the school debt and the inherited school debt. Like, other
okay,
debt is
school debt fall. Like I can tell you, school debt follows you. The person I inherited school debt from didn't die, but they stopped paying, and then I had to start paying.
no, but that's why it's the worst.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, school debt like literally follows you beyond the grave, and it follows you. Someone's paying that debt. Someone's gonna pay it. Like
yeah,
they're getting their money back with interest. So yeah, but but so hopefully, actually not even hopefully, it'll happen. It just depends on what part of the year that'll happen. But I'm not gonna fool myself. I think I'm gonna save money. I'm doing that, and then once it's done, I'm like, yeah, my credit's like awesome again. Let's go fucking go ham. But I do want to go to more conventions this year. That's actually hilarious. That like it's almost the opposite. Not even the COVID years, but like 2019.
yeah.
I'd really stopped going to a bunch. I'd went to like four or five. So it's like but like 2016, 2017, I would literally go to one almost every month.
Hmm.
And maybe not quite that many, but there's a lot more I want to go to. Like I'm definitely going to Fanime. I'm definitely going to AX. Uh, I've already mentioned that I want to go to Holiday Matsuri, which is in December in Florida.
Hmm.
And then in between, there's other stuff I might or might not do. First of all, some of the like Crunchyroll Expo and like um, I think that's the only other one in California. But yeah, stuff like that, which I know will waste a lot of money that I could probably use elsewhere. But it'll be fun. It'll get
It's
A to
good
J more
catching up with
content.
everybody.
Exactly. I also want to get A to J connections a bit more lively, and I say that every year. And it honestly, it's funny because when COVID happened, I think we had a nice boost in terms of like content all around,
That
and
fresh content.
yeah, and that's never really dropped off to be fair. But now that we're leaving the COVID, lockdowny parts of our lives, for better or worse, um, I do want to like not even just keep that momentum, but grow it. But we'll
No,
see.
that's important. It's like, no joke, during the, well, more like last year, 2020, I was like very much like not doing much, but like 2021, I went up like 2,000 followers on what's it called? Instagram.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
Also, it's funny. Speaking of Instagram, one of the big things I want to do for A to J as well is to revive a lot of our social medias. Like we
Hmm.
have an Instagram that we haven't posted on in like 2 years. Well, to be
Yeah.
fair, that's because of COVID. That's not even because of anything else. But I want to start posting on that again. It's funny because JD is making fun of me. Like, do you plan to go to the convention? Even even when I was going to like two conventions a month or whatever, I very rarely went to the convention.
Yeah.
Um, when I go to it, don't get me wrong, I'll go to like interview someone, cover a concert, cover an event, do our panels. So
Mhm.
yes, technically.
Yeah.
But will I go just to like go to the exhibit hall or go to Artist Alley or go to a cosplay gathering? No, I probably won't. That'll be straight up. Like, I don't know. Also, um, one of the reasons I don't like going to um shopping type areas in at cons is because a lot of times I'll admit it's the thrill of it being in front of me.
Yeah.
It's the it's the it's the fact that I might be drunk
Mhm.
at the time. I don't like to spend money at cons, and And that happens to me a lot. If I go to the artist alley, next thing you know, I'll walk out with all these cool little keychains and like art prints, and yeah, they're cool. I don't technically regret buying them, but I much rather have had the money, you know?
Well, I get you. If I'm at the artist alley, I mainly just go to buy stuff from friends and stuff that I know, unless of course if there's something that's just absolutely like poppin' because like already the friends I follow make really poppin' stuff. So I'm like it has to be poppin' if I don't know you if I'm gonna buy something.
Yeah.
Um, and so I like supporting the friends and but like at other times it's like you go down there and you already know that there's that part of you that's like if you go to the exhibit hall, you can get some of that merchandise cheaper,
Oh yeah, the exhibit hall
online.
I avoid all the time because at the very least, artist alley, I don't feel guilty per se. I just feel like I should have maybe not done it. But at go to the exhibit hall, it's the same thing as going to artist alley, but I know I might have spent more than I should have. You know,
Probably, yeah.
at exhibit hall, yeah.
Yeah, at the exhibit hall, I'm not gonna lie, like sometimes I'll do some things where like I'll buy a cosplay just because I might be there or like I forgot something. The Rengoku I wore that day, I like that was just bought from Epic like a day prior. And it was actually pretty cool. Like with how popular how popular the idea was that my friend came up with because at first I just got the cosplay. I felt like okay, I was gonna do a made version of somebody else, so I'll just do Rangeku. And then they were like, "No, do made Rangeku." And I was like, "But I already bought the outfit, like the whole thing." They said, "Yeah, just do the other one." And so I did, and actually helped to like really add to it. Everybody really liked the idea, had a pen light and stuff like that. So like sometimes though, the sometimes because most of the time just straight up you're gonna be spending way
Oh
tons,
yeah.
dropping tons of money, and it's like you'll feel it right away. You don't need to like go anywhere else and like um but other times you will buy things and they will just add like they'll magically add to the experience. And then depending on what the things are, you could probably like use them at another event again and then still kind of chill and stuff. So like it really does depend on the situation. And no, it's cool, but yeah, no, I didn't buy figures. I normally do like to buy figures every
Oh
now and
God,
then, but
I
it
really.
gets really pricey really fast. And if it's not one that like I'm gonna absolutely adore, then I'm just kind of like I'm gonna I'll skip out on it for right now. Um,
There's this Kasumi figure, as in Kasumi from Dead or Alive. As a matter of fact, hold on, let me it's right above me. Let me grab it real fast.
You like
Hold on.
full on disappeared. Holy shit. How'd you do that?
I put a thing in front of my camera. Hold on, because I had to like get in front of it. I have this Kasumi figure.
Damn,
This
that's a
is
pretty sizable costume figure.
this is the last figure I bought at a convention, and it's a cool figure. It's see lots of cleavage. I don't know if I can show that.
It's been no,
but
it's overexposed. You can't show it, but it's
but
costume meat, so it's like really, really
surprisingly,
cool.
this only cost me like $30, and I got it at PMX.
Wait, for real?
Yeah, and she was only $30, and
Wow.
I got
$3?
it.
That's a very sizable like figure though, especially for Dead or Alive. And
Yeah,
a
also,
little string, like shit.
yeah, I think I broke. Oh, no, here it goes. There's the other one. I'm like, there's like two little dangly things. But anyways, um, but my point to bringing that up is prior to that, I used to buy figures all the time at conventions. I don't regret that cost me figure. That was a good deal, but I have so many figures, and I've actually been selling a bunch of them. Like, not for any sizable amount of money, by the way. I've been taking it to like book off, but that's the other thing. I've been trying to downsize like crazy. I'm like, need to get rid of so much shit.
Hmm.
I don't
No,
know. Like behind you's giving me mild anxiety for two reasons. For two
why?
reasons.
Why behind me?
Two reasons. One, I've had that many figures before and then I sold them all. So
Mhm.
part of my anxiety is, God, I wish I still had them. But then the other half of the anxiety is, God, I want to sell all those. Not because I want the money, but I just want to see that space clear behind you.
You
I'm
just
just
want to
like,
see it like clear. Like there is a difference. Like there's the catharsis of when things are together, and there's the like the zen if like the from things being just very simple.
yeah,
Uh, yeah, I
it's
think the
actually
ones that might fetch for a good price back there. I mean, they're open, so they all automatically get like nerfed. But like, there's like the what's it called? There's like this Alice Mirrorland one that I think I got for like around 50, and I think now goes for about like 80 or so. There was a different one from the same line that I didn't buy last year that was like 160. It was two, and it was okay, but like I don't like to pay over 3 digits for one, and I still haven't. But I do kind of regret it because that other like this other Alice one is like it was just made in a one-time run, and trust me, I've been looking back and being like that 150 was very, very attractive a price point because now it's just shot up more in price. But yeah, there's this rabbit one I have back there that's supposed to be like gangbuster numbers, but I got it for like $40 off of either Wish or eBay. So I don't know if it's counterfeit, but it's probably the best looking counterfeit I've ever seen. Um, there's Super Sonico back there. I'm pretty sure that one easy will go for like Red Queen Super Sonico will probably go for like a good price, even though it's opened. And then I don't know, but I got that Disney Barbie one up there for like $50, and I was just kind of like, yeah, I'll get it, whatever. But like when I got it, it was eBay also because Amazon was selling it for like 100, and I was like, huh.
It's funny because Funcom came in the chat and he's like, I don't buy anything unless it's Mega Man. I had so much Mega Man things because I think it was because of the show. By the way, that gives you a nice thing how old I am. By the way, but like I think I had them because this shit was definitely stuff I had like in high school. The
Yeah.
Mega Man cartoon. They used to have
Mhm.
Mega Man figures, like and it was only for Mega Man 1. It was like Bomb Man, Cut Man, Guts Man, and so on. I had all these figures. I had like these little play sets, kind of like Mighty Max. They weren't like little hand thingies. And I sold all those recently. And it's actually funny because that was the first batch of figures I took to book off. I was gonna throw them away. So Funcom might have been upset with that because I did throw away some figures that I was just
We
like,
were
I don't
kids.
feel like.
We were kids. Don't be like that. It's okay.
No,
Like,
I did this last year.
oh,
they
dude,
were in
last
the
year, no.
they were in the
Dude.
storage for like 20 years. But yeah. Um, and I never opened them when I was a kid. That's the funny thing. Well, to be fair, when I got them, I wasn't
Right.
quite a kid anymore. I was like in my early teens, and
Nice
then
Google boomer.
but anyway, but yeah, um, if you go to Book Off, I think they have them all. They're very overpriced because they're like old '90s Mega
Yeah.
Man figures that are
So
like,
they will you
still
give it
sealed.
to any location like that, they will go ham. But that's also because of just they were giving a bunch of people money last year, like in terms of having them stay home. They want it to be, they wanted to stop the spread, and then we all just weren't on the same page. But due to that amount of money that was put out there, and one thing is US inflation, like naturally that was going to be occurring, but I just hate when everybody's kind of like, you see, our money is like trashed out, and it's like, shut the fuck up, bruh. That was all emergency-based things. Any
I
country is able to do them, and they're never going to do it to the extent that Germany did back in the day because places learned. But places are still going to print. That does cause some inflation. Comparisons and stuff will occur, but it was more simply about people having more available capital that drove the prices up of things. Gas prices went up, but at the same time, it's because a lot of people were traveling versus back when they weren't traveling. Um, and the collectibles got hit hard, like old
oh
video
my god.
games like that you couldn't get before now just became even more like out there. I had games that like I bought for like $70 back in 2013, and as of right now, like had I not opened one, it's like close to 400 because the one was part of a special set, and that one was like 40. Like I bought this special edition for like $40, and then this other game that I bought for like $30, that one's up to $200 now.
No, it's actually funny because one of we ended up not doing this episode, and we're just not going to do it because it was definitely a 2021 thing. We were
Yeah.
going to do like the big stories of 2021, and I think I had it in my little notes. I had this whole section on how the collectible markets got insane, especially in 2021. Um, I remember I saw this TikTok video, and it was for like, oh, this is why I don't shop at my local game store. And it was like some game store that had like Clock Tower, like as in for PS1,
Oh, I know
and
where this is going.
and some other game. And they were selling Clock Tower, I think, for like $200. They were selling this
Yeah.
other one for like 300 and something.
Yeah.
And I went to go look it up. First of all, those prices weren't that far off. But I don't know if you guys have seen, but I show off my clock tower a lot on podcasts. because it's right behind me. You can't see it because I have the background on.
Yeah.
And I have a guitar pedal on top of the case, and then I have a cup of noodle, like it's not cooked, but I have a cup of noodle on top of that. That's how little I care about something that apparently is worth like $300.
Well, I mean, it's just having a classic bit of like,
To be fair, I bought it for $5 at a GameStop. So to me, it
well,
was
yeah,
always
because
like
at the time it was like, it's whatever. They're clearing out that inventory.
yeah, it's insane. It just blows my mind how the collectible market's gone crazy. Um, I I'm definitely trying to get rid of shit.
Mhm.
For example, I've been selling a lot of my DS games, and I think I destroyed the market for a couple games on accident
What
because
did you do?
I list I listed I had a couple copies of like the Dragon Quest games for the DS, and I
Yeah.
listed them at like because I just wanted to get rid of them, and there were other
Yeah.
people who had them selling for like $180, and I'm like, okay, they've probably been sitting here for like a year or months.
Yeah.
I'm gonna list mine at like 130.
Mhm.
And like I got a million questions,
You
and then
auction or did you just
I
130?
just buy it now. And I
130.
sold like 4 copies of this one game,
Mhm.
but I went to by the way, I think it was Dragon Quest 5, and I
Yeah.
went to like one of those chart the price thingy, the price, where you chart the prices, and
Yeah.
I managed to drop the price of the game
Oh,
by like $10 or something,
yeah.
just because I did that. And I'm like, two things. One, I made good money. I don't fucking care. But two, that's how easy it is to manipulate the market.
No, but like it's because you had plenty. Like one thing is when somebody has like a find or so, but if people are buying it at a particular time, then they're gonna go off of what it's selling for. And so there's like two ways where you have the market potentially being mixed up by it, but it really depends on what the situation is. One is when you're selling the legit thing, and what's it called? When you're selling the legit thing for cheaper, so that has a bit of a effect on like how people like see supply and demand. And the other thing is if you introduce counterfeits or if you introduce
Destroyer
mistrust.
of prices.
If you introduce mistrust into the situation, it could have one of two things. It could make the real thing more legit, or due to the fact that you have now like sunk confidence in the situation, it could cause people to like virtually see the item as worthless. Because if the trust system is not sound, then nobody can continue to like trade over these things and be like, oh yeah, like this is cool. It's like the same thing with art. Like art is very much a superficial, constantly growing market of like as it exchanges, it gets more expensive. But the second someone has a counterfeit or somebody's reputation goes down the drain, it's like everything just gets like
The
actual meltdown.
No man, you're just the boomer. Um, sorry, I forgot my train of thought there. I was gonna respond to that, and I forgot what the fuck I was gonna say. Um, I don't know. I'm gonna jump back to something else. Sorry. I lost train of thought because I heard you say the boomer.
You're destroying
Um,
the market, and because
DS
you
games,
destroy the
by the
market,
way.
yes.
Even before COVID, even before my downsizing, even before like trying to get rid of shit. By the way, I was this earlier because somebody said I was kind of Marie Kondoing myself a bit.
Sorry,
I will admit that there is a rush, like when you buy something, like like the dopamine rush when you get something new. It's like you also kind of get that when you get rid of it. So
No,
at least for me, I think it's more of if you're ready for it to get rid of it, because you get the almost exact same rush again. It's almost like two for the price of one. It's like, oh, I got it. It's like, and now it's gone.
yeah,
But
it's
but but
continue.
I've been really big on going digital.
Hmm.
Even before that was really like, I guess it wasn't before, but even like for the past like 5+ years, I've been hard dead set on going digital everything. Like I'm like, I used to have so many DVDs, so many games, so many everything. I'm like, if I can get it digital, it's so much easier. I guess games is a little different, but like some of those I will want to have physical, just like I sell them later on. But
Hmm.
I don't know. But these people paying insane money for like some of these games, I'm like, just emulate it.
No,
Like, yeah, I have.
like part of it's just having the collection. Like they're not even playing the games really.
That's what
Like,
I'm
and it really
saying.
depends. Like if it's a PS2 game, it'll probably get played. Like Haunting Ground or Rule of Rose or shit like that. But if it's carts I have a friend who was like, they
I
have a
have two
cart.
copies of Rule of Rose, by the way.
What?
I should get out. Yeah, I should get out of one of them. Fun fact: I bought one on
It's an
I
Atlas
bought
game. I'll get it off of you, man.
I
Like,
bought one
shit.
on eBay for 30. Well, mind you, this is when the game was actually the game wasn't even that new. It was hard to find. I bought one for $30 on eBay, like
Yeah.
circa it coming out ish,
Mhm.
and I thought it was lost. So because it didn't come, so I went to well, I didn't go to it specifically, but I was at a GameStop or some game store. I think it was actually an independent game store, and
Yeah.
they had one there, and it was like $40. I'm like, fuck it, I'm gonna buy it because I wanted to legitimately play it. This is like fucking 15 years ago, so I
Yeah.
bought it, went home, played it, and then about like a week later, the game showed up from the eBay seller, and they'd already refunded me and all this other crazy shit. So I got two copies of the game, and I still have them. And apparently, that game's also worth like $400 or some shit.
It's one of the top 3 like biggest games because but it wasn't because it's a fun game. Like most horror games are
It's a
not going to be
crazy
the most
game.
fun.
It's
Um
Atlas, but yeah.
no, it's Atlas. That's why I want to get it. Like I want to get that one and I want to get Haunting Ground because Haunting Ground was reviewed by what's it called? Sphere Hunter, and I was like blown away by the trivia on the game, and they played it just enough, but didn't spoil everything to the point where I want to try it. So, but it outstuns me because like it's trying to play it for the rarity, but don't get me wrong, like there are people at Christmas time who are at the mall who have these, the miniature consoles that are supposed to come with like, a handful of
Oh
like
yeah.
NES or PlayStation games, but they'll be there and they'll be selling jailbroken ones, so they'll just be filled with emulations of like all these other games. So technically, if I wanted to play it, the cheapest route would have just been to like buy one of these things for like $50 off of them, and then what's it called? Just do it that way. But there's the other half where it's like if it's a PS2 game, I'm still interested. I'm like for real. I would like if you do have an extra version of Rule of Rose, I'd like to actually get that copy off of you.
It's
Um,
hilarious because maybe I'm just weird like this, but if I had, mind you, I'll play my Rule of Rose because I paid $30 or 40, or I paid
yeah,
$40 because that's how much I paid for both. But I paid for it, so I'll play mine.
yeah,
But if I was that person who spent like $600, however much, on Rule of Rose today,
yeah.
I would never put that disc in anything. That
No,
disc
no,
is
like for real. You want to be sure that it's kept like in supreme condition, and like that's why there's my
exactly.
friend. My friend has the big ass cart of what's it called of Earthbound. She's a big fan of it, and so I like dead ass asked her like, oh damn, so like you have the so how does it play and stuff like that? She's just like, what are you talking about? I don't play that shit. I just have
Exactly.
it like up on like a shelf. I play the emulator, and I'm just like. I'm like what was like there was me where I'm like what was the point, but it was very much like oh it's a collector's item and cartridges just over time disintegrate, and like that part does genuinely suck. So
No, and I have a lot of GameCube. I feel like we're really off topic for resolutions. We'll come back to that. Don't worry. I'll wrap this up. But
FF7, but George, to be fair, you can buy FF7 just fine. Anywhere that will have an FF7 copy, like legit, that game's not gonna go for big numbers. They sold so many copies of it.
yeah,
Nobody.
there was a brief window before all the 8 billion re-releases where you might have
Yeah.
got money for the original Black Label. By the way, I have the original Black Label that has like the floating. There's like a misprint on it. I
Yeah.
have that first edition. And I think that's the edition.
That's worth shit. But like,
Yeah. If you have the greatest hits version, the green label, no, that's $20 at most. Maybe someone will give you what you paid for it.
you don't have to worry, like straight up. If there was plenty of it, the more of it that there was, the less of it that it should be. And just because people are saying, "Oh, it's the old version," it's like, I'm sorry, like it's not just emulation. You can buy that on Steam. You can buy that on PSN. I think you can still get the PSP network sell through it or PS1. So like, um, like if it's available, then it's all good. There's like no worries really. But I mean.
Yeah, tomorrow.
Ocarina of
Tomorrow.
Time. There's a specific Ocarina of Time that's like worth gangbusters.
Yeah, I have I still have all. See, I don't think I'll ever get rid of my N64 games. Those are cartridge and N64 emulation. Why am my hands like doing this? Like,
Durian?
anyways,
Want me to give
yeah.
him the durian? I'm not transporting that shit. That's banned. I'm not gonna transport a durian that far.
Durian. What about durian?
Because I
What
ate a
about,
durian on Sunday, and
oh,
it was a 2-pack, so that's why.
and I got rid of most of my old cartridge games, but like I think I think they're some of the PS1 Mega Man games are still worth a lot of money, and I still have those. Like I have X4, 5, and 6. I have all the game. Oh, I remember what I was saying the GameCube games. So
Yeah.
I don't know
Oh
if you
no,
guys
there's the
know this.
market. That market now is getting real big.
Be careful though with your own collections because I have some games and some games are notorious. Like there's Metal Gear Solid Twin Snakes is one of them, and I forget what the other ones are. But there's
Yeah.
some print runs that are notorious for disc rot.
No. I feel you.
And um, my Twin Snakes has disc rot, and
No.
I'm so upset by this. Also, I think Resident Evil 4, the original one for GameCube, that also is. And it's not just like my copy; it's
Mhm.
just notorious amongst collectors that like if you see it anywhere, check it because it probably has disc rot. Um, Disc rot's a thing, so part of me wants to just like sell all my disc-based games to get
Yeah.
out of the game before they inevitably like turn to dust. So yeah, in case you didn't know what disc rot is, just like
Oh
it doesn't
shit, I'm
even
looking it up now. Like, oh fuck.
yeah, like it's basically where the metal part of the disc, the part that actually has the data, literally rots, and it's typically because like the adhesive that holds it down either
Yeah.
gets weak
Mm-hmm.
or or it was never attached properly to begin with, which is the case in certain print runs. Like I said, Twin Snakes and Resident Evil 4, and it'll just
It's
slowly
so
lift.
scary.
We'll get in there and it'll eat everything. So part
What?
of me just like just get rid of all of it now. Just get rid of it now while it's while it's all still in that clock tower that's sitting under the cup of noodles. It doesn't have disc rot. I could get $300 for that and go buy me a pizza. So yeah, I don't
Dude,
know.
what causes like the disc rot exactly? Like, or where is it like weather conditions or what in
Yeah,
particular?
you're supposed to keep it literally in. This goes for anything, not just like disc-based media. Keep it in like very temperature controlled places, like room temperature, low moisture, and just don't even put it in anything. Just don't look at it. So yeah, it's just a thing. It's just a thing. So yeah, I want to get rid of all this shit. If
Yeah, no,
anyone,
this is the last remaining like GameCube games I have, unless I like check somewhere else. But these
oh,
Kirby Air Ride, Sonic Adventure 2 Battle, fucking Bloody Roar,
I love it.
and
I actually
it's I mean this
Resident
one's
Evil
not gonna
4.
fetch for money, but it's RE0.
The Bloody Roar one, it's funny because I used to love that series. That's a series I wanted, and I've actually played that one recently. All my GameCube games are a little out of my
No,
reach.
dude, that fighting game is fucking fluid. Like, it doesn't matter how old it gets. Like, dude, part 4 is shit. I played part 4 on PS2. And that game is absolute garbage. This game, though, has aged like fine wine. It's probably one of the most fluid fighters I've ever played. Like, probably close to like, um, Dead or Alive 3, 4. Like, this game has no business being as good as it is on the GameCube, and like I wish that there'd be more to play like with people and stuff like that, because just like the mechanics are so good and it's so raw. I didn't even know there was blood in this game until later. They in the GameCube version they took out the blood that was in the PS2 version and they
I
added
was gonna
like
say like, it's in the
grind
PS2 one.
rails or something, like grind sparks. But still, the things that happen in the game are just so raw. Like the impact is fully felt and everything.
I
Also
remember
furries,
I used
but
to love. I was gonna say like I used to love the original one for the PS1. I used to love the original Dead or Alive for the PS1. It was one of my things I used to do when I was younger. Is I would unlock everything because in that one you got a costume each time you unlocked. I mean you beat the game, so you beat
yeah,
it with like 14 times with one person, like 5 times with another, and so on. So I would delete my save file and just do it all again just for fun.
yeah,
But that one, the first Dead or Alive is amazing because I don't think I'm waiting for some YouTuber to discover this because like everyone talks shit about modern Dead or Alive, big titty anime girls, fighting or whatever. But the
yeah.
original one was stupid. Like you could turn on the breast physics to the highest, and they didn't like move in any way natural. They would just go like this. They would just go ooh, 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 ooh. They would just as too big. They just go up and down. And it was just so amusing to like my 13-year-old self or whatever. Like, look,
Yeah.
that doesn't even like look right.
Oh
That looks
shit.
wrong.
It looks wrong. I think one of my games has disc rot actually.
Oh, look at this. Look, no, GameCube games are actually some of the worst for disc rot. Like you don't even know because I think.
It's Super Smash Bros. Brawl. So like,
Oh, that's for the Wii, isn't it?
yeah, this is for the Wii, but like, there's edges to it where like I'm noticing. To be fair, I took this game almost everywhere with me, and I think that might be why. But I'm seeing like, it's not going to show if I put up to the camera probably, but like on the very edges of it, you can start to see like something occurring.
On the plus side, yeah, I was gonna say on the plus side, it will probably spread, but if it's on the edges, there's probably no data there now. So, I mean, there's probably no data on the edges, but I mean, like for now, you're safe. I meant to say,
Yeah.
but I don't know. Apparently, modern discs are a bit less susceptible to it. Like like anything read with a blue laser, like they're technically not all Blu-rays, but high capacity discs for some reason, I guess they have better glue. I don't know, are
Yeah.
less susceptible to it.
Also anime. Why don't we have more anime fighters, Capcom?
Tatsunoko versus Capcom. I mentioned that before. That game's one of my favorites. I remember I had this I had this really weird ex girlfriend a long time ago, and she used to be so like she would be she would get jealous if I was ever playing a fighting game and picked a girl. That's the kind of relationship we had, and that's the kind of person she was. And I don't want to speak
What?
ill of her. Nobody knows who she is anyway. But she used to literally get mad at me if I picked a girl character in anything where I
Why?
played as a girl in the game. And I'm like, oh my god, you're jealous of like Yatterman 2 or like Chun
What
Li. It's
the
like
fuck?
stop. It's like stop, please. I'm not
You're
gonna have this
jealous
argument.
of Moe, like 70s. It wasn't even Moe. She's just adorable. Like, what
No,
the fuck?
it's just funny. I said that argument a lot. Like, why'd you pick her? And I'm like, because I like
She,
her move style, and like I
she's
just
fast and she's pokey and she's really annoying. And
I should have just been like, because I want to date her instead. No, I'm just kidding. Don't say that. Don't say that. Anyway, everyone go check your disc to
yeah,
see if there's disc rot.
I get jealous of busty anime characters, Josh Ogles. What? You don't get jealous of stuff like that. They are not real.
Oops. What did I start?
I brag that I got Kuching. Yeah, but that's me wanting a character that has a playstyle that I enjoy. That is Kuching, who has a part of Virgil's moveset that I would like to add to my loadout on Genshin. So that different story.
It's funny because before we came to this podcast, I was actually early this morning because I did have to go to work in the early afternoon, but early this morning I was getting rid of a lot of my Japanese magazines because I'm like, why the fuck do I even have these? I can't even sell these anywhere easily. So I just threw a bunch of them away, like video game magazines, shocks, as in like visual game magazines and so on.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I wonder if I'm ever going to get rid of my PS1 or PS2 games. And for some reason, after this conversation, I think I'm ready to start.
Yeah, sorry. You've acknowledged
mind,
the end.
mind you, it's
It's
a
time to
long
let go of
process.
some things.
I'm not exaggerating. This is no exaggeration. I have about 800, no, maybe 500, 500 plus PS1 games and about 1,000 PS2 games. And that's
Damn.
not an exaggeration. There are a few doubles. Most of them are just individual. There was a point when I wanted to collect all the games. And for the record, I think there's like 3,000 PS2 games. So I was nowhere close. But yeah.
No, there's a shit ton.
But yeah, and I think I'm ready to get rid of a bunch of them. It'll take a long time, and I'll probably still keep some. Like I kept some of my DS games. So I was like, yeah. But yeah, I think I'm ready to get rid of a bunch of them. This conversation really helped me to be like, they're gonna rot, man. You'll just sell them now.
It's a Dida thing. Art is a blast, The
Yeah.
thing that makes art the best is that it will never last.
We're
Versus,
trying to, I know everyone in the chat like just trying to convince me to like for me to sell them Roll of Rose for like $20.
I mean, I'll give you back what you paid yours for, like at
40.
least.
Here's $50. He's gonna rip me off. It's fine. But
No, but I
no,
actually do want to. I do actually want to get Rule of Rose just for the sake of it because I'm an Atlas fan, and just so that way I'll be like, yes, we're gonna play this shit on what's it called? Play it on stream. It'll be like, no, just emulate it. It'll look better, and I'll be like, no, fuck you.
well, not only will it look better, but there's so many quality of life improvements when it comes to
Yeah.
emulation. Like,
Mhm.
obviously, I'm not gonna lie, I'm not a good gamer, so I'm the first person who's like, I'm save stating my ass off, you know, to get past some shit, or like, especially not even just save stating my ass to get like past things. Like, what if I'm just tired and I want to stop playing here, but there's no save point, save state. I'm done. See you tomorrow. You know, I don't know.
Oh man,
I have a bunch of PS2s also, so that's not even an issue. I actually have 4
why do you
PS2s
have 4 PS2s?
because one of them just doesn't work, and I should probably throw it away. But
Mhm.
the other two are just different models. Like I have one PS2 that definitely works, it's still plugged in. Then I have
Yeah.
a PS2 TWO, the
Mhm.
one that had was the top loader.
Yeah.
And then I have a PS2 that was meant to have a swap disc. So it has a brand new custom top that you could
Yeah.
open before
Mhm.
that was a thing. And you would put in a disc, take it out, and then put in a burned game. And that's how it was a hacked PS2, but
Well,
without a chip.
that's how you had to play Final Mix, the what's it called, the Japanese import of it, because you needed to like trick the system first, and then you could play the game.
Well, I remember when I first bought this hacked modded PS2, I bought it so I could play fuck, what's it called? I don't remember what it was called, but it was Final Fantasy 12, the Zodiac version, the one that had jobs, which is now the current version, but at the time that was only in Japan.
Mm.
So I bought it to play that, and there was a fan translation of it, so I was able to just burn it onto a DVD-R and then
Yeah.
just play it like that. But but yeah, I'll probably keep the system. Like, I have like Sega Saturn games. What the fuck do I have those for? I'm gonna get rid of so much
Do you
shit.
even have a Sega Saturn?
I have two Sega Saturns, and that's
Okay,
only
then that's why you
because
should still hold on to it then.
most of my Sega Saturn collection came from two separate lots I bought at yard sales. And like, well, one was a yard sale, one was a swap meet. And like, it's basically like buy all this shit for $50 kind of thing.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Do you
so
have
I
a
have
Neo
two Sega
Geo in there
Saturns.
too? Do you have a Neo Geo Master System?
No, I don't have anything too pricey beyond that, but I do have a Neo Geo Pocket Color, another handheld nobody talks about. I have a
Uh,
Wonder, I have a Wonder Swan, which I used to think was a bootleg console because my parents got it for me in LA because like it was cheap, but
wow,
apparently that
they are bidding nothing for that World of Rose on the thing.
what are they talking about? I bid $1 and a dirty nickel.
I bid $1. I bid a hay. What's a hay penny?
A penny. I assume that's less than a penny. God damn! It's funny because I know my rule of rose is just like right because I have my games like I have most of my PS2 games in a bookshelf that's like right to the right here.
Yeah,
But the Rule of Rose one is like behind because it's double stacked. I just don't want to
yeah,
make a mess to get to it. But yeah, I'm like I can pull it out. I'll pull it out tomorrow on on the gaming stream and be all like, because I have two, but there's one that's in my collection, and there's one that's in a pile of doubles. But anyway, yeah, I'm gonna get rid of them all. Like I said, I might not sell the heavy hitters immediately, not because I want to hold on to them, just because I want to get rid of the huge lion share first. Like I have shit like the Friends trivia game for the PS2, you know.
yeah.
So I'm like, like I might just throw that away. I might just throw that away whenever we're done talking. I'll just
You
be
have
like,
to
why
at
do I have?
least film doing something to it then. Like you either give it away or you have to literally be like, this is content. And
Oh yeah,
I don't know, you'll
you have.
disrupt the market maybe. Like
I'm
you'll
not gonna
disrupt the
lie.
market by like making people start to like, all the what will happen, no, here's what will happen. You're gonna destroy it, you're gonna add a hashtag, we'll share it, and then people on TikTok, all the young kids will see it, and then they'll start this thing where they'll be like, so this boomer destroyed one of his old games. I went and found my old man's PS2 collection. I raised you one, and you see this kid like demolish them, and then these other kids will start destroying all the other collections, and then you'll just see the market start to like spiral out of control because of the destruction of certain games and all that.
Then it's like, maybe I should have kept my friend's trivia game. It's funny because I always point that game out because funny fun fact, the same ex-girlfriend did when we play the girl characters. She
Yeah.
actually bought that game at a GameStop, like at a clearance rack for like I think literally $1. Like and she played it once, left it with me, and now it's mine. And I'm like I don't. And the only reason I even kept it originally because I'm like, one day I'm gonna have every PS2 game, and that's one of them. So I have it now. But now I'm like, yeah, I could just throw this away. But it's funny because of all the collectibles I've thrown away. I really wish I had made videos. I would have pissed off so many people. I'm sure
Uh,
some. The other day when I was in book off and I was taking them, and mind you, this was junk. I was just taking them a few books and like some really random DVDs. Like they gave me like $100 for it, which I was really happy for because that was way more than I thought they would. But when I was leaving my stuff there, somebody had their other bag next to mine. They weren't there, but I guess they had dropped it off. And inside that bag, they had a Sega Genesis that had a Sega CD attached.
mm-hmm.
And I was like, "Whose is this? I will buy this from them right now." And like, because I'm sure GameStop, I'm sure Book Off's gonna give them like $5 for it, and then sell it for 100, and they're probably not even gonna sell it.
They will. Like, no,
But
it's crazy.
it was just so funny. But then part of it was also like, Manuel, no. First of all, that couldn't have happened because I'm pretty sure I just got myself kicked out of the store. But but even if I had bought it, I'm like, you're trying to get rid of shit, Manuel. Not fucking buy a new Sega CD. I don't know. I don't know. Don't let the birthday boy work longer. Oh, we should probably start wrapping it up. We didn't even talk about New Year's resolutions. Let's get some other.
I
It's all,
I spoke my New Year's resolutions.
real fast. I didn't want to talk about this. The reason why we were going to talk about New Year's resolutions is this became a video game podcast out of nowhere. Because Lunar New Year is happening. I think it's next Tuesday. Which, fun fact, we might or might not be live. We'll see. I think we'll be here anyway, but we'll see. You'll find out on Monday when I put the schedule out. But follow us on social media and you could ask us there. But there was a list of like the Chinese Zodiac Report Card 2022 from M News, and I'm a tiger. So for next year, by the way, I'm a tiger, and I just, by the way, you could know exactly how old I am if you do the math. I'm a tiger, and it's tiger this year. They tell everyone that your year is the worst year you're gonna have, like your birth year. So I'm gonna have a bad year. Yeah.
What?
So if
What? That's how it works? What?
yeah, your birth year, whenever it comes up again, is going to be a bad year for you. So yeah, I'm a tiger. You could and I'll just say I'm not 24, so you could figure how old I am from there. Well, actually, I'm not 20. I'm not that age anyway. I'm born in August, so I got 8 more months to get there. But according to
So
my report card,
when it's the year of your zodiac, it's
yes.
huh.
What are you?
I'm a sheep or a ram, depending on who you ask.
This list calls you. What does this list call you? This list calls you an ox. Wait, you're not an ox. It's a cow. Where's the
What?
sheep or the ram?
What are you talking about? How is there no sheep or ram?
How is there no sheep or ram?
That doesn't make
What
sense.
are you a goat? Because a
A
goat's
goat,
not one
then?
of them. Because a
Wait,
goat's not one of them.
what is it then? Like, if it's not goat, if it's not ram, if it's not sheep, what is it? Like, I know what I saw.
Yeah, it's definitely the goat on this paper, but I've never heard of a goat being listed as one of the zodiac animals. So you're definitely the goat. By the way, you're all A's this year. But me,
You're the goat. That's why I have it listed. I tried looking it up. It's saying you're the goat.
I'm a B for wealth. I'm a D for romance. I'm an A for career and a D for health. So that's about right. I'll be sick and no one will love me, but
Oh
I'll be
shit!
okay with money and
No,
have a decent career.
dude, no, man.
Listen to the Asian. It's not goat. It's ram. See, no, it's supposed to be a ram, but the paper we're looking at. Well, I don't know if JD's there. I can put it on, but like I'll have it if you're watching on YouTube. But the thing we're looking at listed as a goat. By the way, it also lists a monkey, but the monkey that they draw here, I think it's supposed to be a Wukong looking monkey, kinda. At least I can I don't know what the fuck. Anyway, go watch Fruits Basket. That has all the zodiac animals in it.
Roost. She's
And
bringing out Rooster because she's Rooster.
monkey is after the rooster. I remember. But yeah, I'm a tiger. I'm a tiger. But so I'm a cat. Isn't that what the? See, isn't there a cat in Fruits Basket though?
Yeah, but like there's a tiger and there's a cat, but Geo is just a cat. He's not a tiger.
Oh, I'm not gonna lie. I never realized that till this second. And I'm sure that's a plot point because if you've never seen Fruits Basket, he's like, it's the will she, won't she with
Garu?
Kyo and what's the other guy's name? Not Kyo.
Yuki?
Yuki. Yeah, Yuki's the rat. Yeah, and will she, won't she with whichever one. I used to love that show, the original Fruits Basket. It was actually it was the anime that kind of got me into general anime. Well, definitely into like more show. I know it's not really pure shoujo, but definitely into shoujo-y type things.
Mhm.
I can't stand the new character designs. You mentioned this before we went live, but it feels like the joke, like the Sailor Moon Crystal legs, where like everyone's just like this much leg and like this much body. So yeah, what's in
No,
the
I
chat?
get you. It seems like when it comes to all the shoujo remakes, that's just kind of like the treatment that's being given. The crystal look, the
That
what's it
most
called?
likely.
Cardcaptor Sakura, the now fruit baskets. Like,
Oh, is the new card capture out?
yeah, it's been out.
I didn't know this. I'm not gonna lie. It's funny because one of the panels we submitted for Fanime is the new card. I mean, it's the new card is a Magical Girls one.
Mhm.
But like, I didn't know that the new card captor came out already. I feel like I'm like. By the way, if you really want to hate me, to this day I've never seen card captor Sakura in my life. I've only watched card captors. So yeah. One of these days I gotta fix that. And I said I
No,
was
don't
gonna do
fix
that.
that. Stay in the bubble of what we were given trash and just let trash be what it was.
Well, honestly, um, I've said this before, but with the exception of the marketing, it wasn't that bad. Like in terms of what it cut and what it didn't. It just mainly that it marketed it as if like it was a boys' show, but it wasn't. So yeah,
Yeah.
beyond beyond that, but when you watched it, it was definitely like still card captors, at least as far as I could tell. But yeah, I remember I had a different ex girlfriend, not the one who like didn't want me to play fighting games, female characters, who she kind of had a bit of like the putting off the air toxic masculinity because she didn't have toxic masculinity herself. But I remember when she used to get on my case about watching Fruits Basket. She's like, "Why are you watching this? This is such a girly show." So yeah, don't have people like that in your life either. No negativity.
Oh, no negativity.
I just anyways, we'll wrap this up. New Year's resolution. Any other resolution? We'll say one more before we wrap up. What's another New Year's resolution for you, Josh, besides saving money and like doing traveling and maybe buying a house?
Um, I don't know. Those like felt like very straightforward. I guess the only other one I would have is if things went well enough, like I would like to go to conventions, um, and still see people and do some stuff. Like it was really fun going to ALA, and then I did Anime Impulse, kind of just cause, it was, because it's not really that expensive, but that's just because it's more of a like a whole show that's in reference to Lunar Festival. Um, so like it's nice. Like I would like to still meet up and meet friends and do things on the usual, but like I'm gonna be honest, due to my concerns with COVID, like that's why I'm not going to WonderCon, not planning to do what's it called, Fanime. And the only reason I'm doing Expo isn't really because of Expo. It turns out that Avox is going on the same weekend, and I already bought my day ticket for Avox for Saturday. So
Avox is.
Avox is a it's more of the English dub, but it's a voice actor convention. All the voice
Oh,
actors, mainly from the Burbank, Los Angeles area, all decided that, hey, why don't we literally throw our own event? I think they're going to try and get some people also that are based out from Texas as well to come down to that one. Um, and they're promising over 100 guests. Um, like between both days, a lot of them are going to have the same people, but I think they might just by default have like a few differences in between them. But they're saying for the unless they've already risen the price for the cost of $100 per day, you can experience a whole thing with voice
oh,
actors
you,
where
just to interrupt, just because
yeah.
Danish is very upset. You apparently have a delivery outside. Don't let it melt. Do you want to go run
Okay.
and deal with that?
Yeah,
I'll tell everyone my New Year's resolution real fast while you're gone. Sorry, I don't want you to get in trouble. Um, but yeah, don't worry, won't don't let him out. Anyway, but yeah, besides mine, I already said the. Are you still there, JD? It's funny because JD hasn't said anything in like an hour, and he hasn't even tried to bring us back on the topic. So I'm like, what happened to J? Oh, you have? I haven't seen it. Because we literally spent an hour just going on about video games. That was mad off topic. But anyways, I do think I found an accidental New Year's resolution, and I didn't. We actually never said this earlier, but this was supposed to be the first episode of the year, and we were supposed to do this like 3 weeks ago, and this would be closer to like New Year.
Thank
But
you for the
because
cake.
Lunar New Year is coming up, we're like, fuck it, why not? Fun fact: if you come to our DTL next week, which is coming back on Saturday, I'm going to be doing a presentation on Lunar New Year. So it'll be it's actually one I was going to do last year. Just we ended up not doing it. But anyway, I think I found a new resolution that I just want to get rid of everything. Like I just want to get rid of
Sell
so much more.
everything. Sell
And
everything.
I'm pretty sure if I sell like I have like Solo to Robo, that DS game. Like I think it's the rarest DS game. I have that brand new and sealed. So I'm pretty sure if I sell all my heavy hitters, not only can I pay off the debt that like the last of the debt that I'm talking about paying off, but I could probably like travel a bit too because I have so many other big heavy hitters. You don't even know. Like I have all the big titles that everyone wants. I have Eternal Darkness. I have I already mentioned fucking Rule of Rose. I have every PS1, I have every Atlas RPG for PS1. I have the original Persona and shit like that.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm gonna get rid of all of it. I even have a complete Magic Knight Ray Earth for the Sega Saturn.
Dude.
I think
Nice.
that alone is like, well, I mean everything's like a few $100s, but that's like a $500 game right there as well. I don't have the game, but I have a case for Panzer Dragoon Saga. Because one of the lots I bought from,
Yeah.
they sold me I thought the game was in the case. They sold it all to me. And then when I get home, that game and Panzer Dragoon 2 were not in the cases, and I have no idea if they just kept them, if they lost them, if they didn't care or whatever. But yeah, but I have a case for Saga.
I almost bought a what's it called, a DDR game from a yard sale, and I opened it and there was no case in there, and I was like, if this is a situation where I'm missing a case, I would not care, but I very much want the game, so
I'm gonna sell everything, and then Manuel's gonna pay off his debt and go travel and create new debt. It'll be great.
But it'll be fun debt. It'll be your debt. It'll be debt that you're proud of, and then you know what you can do after you do that debt. You then go with your new and awesome credit score to refinance that debt by going and getting a loan out from a credit union, and you start the process over again because since you just did that, congratulations, you just paid off whatever debts were on the credit card that will raise your score, while at the same time you're paying off now that debt on a lower interest rate that you did by taking it to this credit union, making your score get even better, proving once again that only the rich get richer. Because for real, you needed to have capital to get the credit in the first place, to build the credit otherwise. And even if you decided that you want to build your own credit without doing that, guess what? You need to get yourself $500, go to a credit union, get yourself a secured loan where they pretty much give you back money when you give them money. So it's like, here's $500. Here's $500 back. Pay us those $500 back. Cool. And then you do that monthly, and eventually you're going to have like 450 or not 450, like 490 or 480 or something, but your credit score would have gone up. But once again, you need to at least have had $500 fucking dollars. Just dang.
Everyone go into debt and let's create a perfect. I'm just kidding. And then when my debt gets so high again, and hopefully it never gets. Honestly, it wasn't that high. Just that it was always trailing with me. If my debt ever gets insane, guess what? Manuel Figueroa is gonna just suddenly have a horrible accident, and hello, Miguel Francis. I'm just kidding. Just nobody quote me on that. That's like probably mad illegal what I just said. Anyway, that'll wrap up this show. Sorry we didn't get into too much New Year's resolution, which is fine. honestly, like I said, the whole show, the whole conversation about games got me worked up to like basically create a new resolution. So there you go.
Nice.
Tomorrow we'll be playing Wild Arms on the gaming stream. If you come by, I'll show off some of the games I mentioned earlier. I just didn't want to pull them out now and make a mess. So if you want to see some of them, I'll just be pulling them out while Warren's playing Wild Arms 2. I'll even pull out Wild Arms 2. But because I have that game too. But fun fact, we stole that one. I mentioned this many times on that gaming stream, but I don't think I stole it, but me and my friend stole it from a KB Toys. So statute of limitations, though, this is like 25 years ago. But anyways,
Dude, company's not even around anymore, man.
I know who the fuck's gonna sue me from KB. But anyways, and then on Friday we're playing D&D on Dream Talk Roll. Tomorrow's at 5, Friday's at 6, and then we'll be back next Tuesday, maybe. I'm sure we'll be back to something. If it's not UPC, there'll be a stream here. We'll see. But anyways, happy birthday, Josh. Thank you for joining us. Thank you, thank you, Ed and Kenneth, our current patrons, patreon.com/digiconnections. And sub to us, like us, whatever, if you want to do that right now. And that's it. Thank you all in the chat. Thank you for giving me a hay penny for fucking Rule of Rose. Good night.